Have you ever stared for a long time in the sky on a clear day? And some people, if they really focus, can start to see little particles that look like white, ghostly embers or firebrands shooting off from some non-existent fire. These barely perceptible dancing particles move through the air in a disorganized yet clockwise rotation. They are always present in our ether, regardless of the weather. They're just more difficult to see on a cloudy day. They are also present inside buildings and other structures. At nighttime, these same non-fire air embers look to be green as they kind of faintly glow in the dark. Now, these particles that only some can see are always present, no matter where you are. But what are they? Well, I'll tell you. These little ember-like particles are the energetic substance that naturally occurs on our planet and all other planets. It's these non-tangible particulates that allows for free energy. Some days these air particles look stronger and almost glitter in the air, while other days they are more muted. So not just Earth has this, all planets that sustain life have this natural atmospheric energy. And the more advanced alien races know how to harness it effectively to power their realms. Now, this may have been the essence that Nikola Tesla's atmospheric energy devices were tapping into. But what does this stuff come from? How did it get here? Let me introduce the Alkians, a galactic race that's deeply involved in realm creation and are the genesis of all atmospheric energy throughout our universe. Hello world, welcome to today's video. For those who are new here, my name is Erin Lynn. I'm an Akashic record researcher and Galactic channel. And this is going to be a very interesting galactic species to feature. They are a benevolent race with a complicated past. This is also the first unknown group that I've featured from the Crater constellation. These ETs are from the brightest star with the Bayer designation of Alpha Crateris. And this planet has the Arabic name of Alkes, which these beings prefer to be known by. The word Alkes translates to the cup or the first star of the cup. And the name of the constellation, Crater, derives from the Greek term for crater, a specific type of wide-mouthed, two-handled vessel that is used to dilute wine. The Greeks used these crater vessels to mix the wine and water together and then fill their drinking cups for large wine drinking parties called symposiums. Now, these symposiums were frequently debaucherous and hedonistic in nature. So to my academic viewers out there, don't you wish current day symposiums were more like this? As some of you may know by now, I am interested in the etymology of these celestial names. These given names are, perhaps subconsciously, deliberate, and they may hold clues as to the history or energies of the ETs that live there. So stay with me here. Let's consider the New Testament of the Bible, where wine symbolizes the blood of Jesus Christ. And the blood of Jesus Christ represents the ultimate sacrifice of love and goodness and our salvation from sin. And if we consider for a moment a constellation named after a vessel that's used intentionally to dilute the wine, or in this metaphor, the blood of Christ, hence diluting the love and goodness that came from Christ's sacrifice. Alkes is the most prominent star in this constellation, the first cup, as it were. The Alkians are a powerful and benevolent force in our universe, yet their benevolence has been watered down due to a small percentage of Alkians who decided to turn away and serve a much lower vibrational master. I do want to emphasize that the Alkians are a race of ETs that in general work for the light and are a positive force in this universe. However, about 5% of their population decided to align with these lower vibrational entities. using their inherent power and knowledge for personal gain and control. And the reasons why these Alkien souls turn to a service of the self instead of the good of the entire universe is very individual to the soul, as there may have been a myriad of reasons. But the Alkians I have spoken to, who have either been reformed from their former negative allegiances or were never a part of the bad actor group, are very, very sorry for the damage their group has done. There is a tremendous amount of guilt and a desire to make right any wrongs the negative beings did on behalf of the Alkians. So few select powerful Alkien starseed souls have been allowed to incarnate on Earth to be in the center of these dense energies on our planet. And they are here to assist in the ascension of Earth. This is a planet where I have been physically taken before. It was in February of 2022, and I did spend some time there. They wrapped my body in an orange light to allow me to exist in their much different environment where the Earth human body cannot withstand. Alkes is a very mountainous and green planet. They have all these mountains and valleys, and there are also large lakes, and their sky and sun look like ours. The trees are primarily ancient fir or evergreen trees, and they blanket both the valleys and the mountainsides. And the trees are so plentiful and tall that I sometimes struggle to even catch a glimpse of their sky. And the weather is chilly and damp there, but very pristine and picturesque. The air is often foggy and misty, and it does rain often. And their climate and mountains remind me of the Pacific Northwest area of the United States. And these mountainsides are steep, and they're difficult to navigate. The Alkians live in these extensive cave structures inside these mountains very high up. Inside these caves are like mazes with many rooms and hallways connecting to other hallways. And the walls of the cave hallways are very natural looking with like rough to the touch granite type rock. They have different technology for specific uses placed in designated rooms. I was in one room where they had a wall that looked like a light screen that became solid, and it had projected various colors and patterns. And we would receive subconscious information and healing by looking at this screen as the colors changed on it. The Alkien beings are solid, bright red, and they have elongated, hairless heads with human facial features. If you've been watching this series, they may look very similar to another ET race I covered called the Alchibans. So yes, the Alkians and Alchibans are genetically related, but they do not get along. So stay with me and I'll explain that relationship in more detail later in the video. So the biggest physical difference between the Alchibans and the Alkians are their body types. The Alkians are short and stocky, reaching an average height of 3 feet or 1 meter tall. And they're also very active and busy and always moving about and doing something, usually in large groups. And since they are physical beings and their environment is mostly in high altitudes with a colder climate, they wear silver long sleeve jackets and long silver pants with silver hiking boots. And this footwear is a necessity because of the rough terrain all around their realm. And I was even provided a special pair of silver boots that fit my feet to walk around on their planet. And I have a clear memory of putting them on while in my same gray pajamas that I had gone to sleep in. Although I've been to Alkes in the physical in my current body, I initially visited Alkes via astral travel. And when I was speaking with the Alkians who were showing me around, to get to know them, I asked them what they did. So in response, an Alkien put his 2 hands apart but parallel at the chest level and instantly manifested an orange ball of light about the size of a soccer ball. He then threw that ball of light out into the ether and it dissipated where I could no longer see it. And this was the beginning of their explanation of how they create atmospheric energy for the universe. Coming full circle from my video introduction, that energy they were throwing out into the ether is the same white dancing embers we see on our planet and what provides the free energy. The planet doesn't seem to be the generator of this energy, but the Alkians themselves are. These beings radiate a kinetic energy, which they then send out into the universe. So I was then showed multiple beings all around me generating this orange energy ball and then tossing it outwards. So they don't do this practice constantly, as I see them doing other things not related to that, but I assume it's something they do semi-regularly. And it's possible they were just simply giving me a visual representation of this process so that I could understand it. The Alkien society is structured to be extremely equal, so no one has any more or less than anyone else. Everyone shoulders the same amount of responsibility. So furthermore, a family member is considered no more or less important than a stranger. So everyone is equally important in their society. And they are an active, creative, and overall happy ET species. Despite their tremendous spiritual and energy knowledge and abilities that are vital to the entire universe, I found them to be humble and lighthearted. Alkes is also more populated than most other realms I've visited so far. So I saw large groups of them everywhere on their planet, and even though there weren't any what we would consider city areas. Alkes is one of those planets in our universe that have been consistently very involved in realm creation. And they are currently and have always been in the 12th dimension. Many of these beings held very high ranking positions in the creation of Earth and other planets as well. And some people may refer to them as Anunnaki or blueprinters. But for example, Alkians were also very involved in creating the planet Beta Sextantis, one that was featured previously on this channel. Around 200,000 years ago, some non-blueprinter Alkien starseeds began incarnating on Earth in large numbers, and some began to feel some kind of ownership of it. And many Alkians viewed Earth as their playground, and these souls frequently chose to have lifetimes on Earth while in earthly bodies, and to learn and experience new things here. And they were having a great time. However, the mass incarnation of Alkien starseeds on Earth was ultimately cut off approximately 6,000 years ago. A few of these souls are still permitted to come here, and they are allowed because they are working out some sort of karma for past misdeeds that they were responsible for in previous earthly lifetimes. As I mentioned, many Alkien starseed souls held instrumental roles in the creation of the Earth. And some of these Alkians, along with other souls from other planets, turn to these very dense and dark energies. Now, I don't want to put all the blame on the Alkians because it wasn't just them. But had these same self-serving tendencies started incarnating here. And these souls remained on Earth to continue the bidding of the prince of those dark energies, if you know what I mean, as they had given themselves over to the dark a long time ago. And this negative group of Alkians had caused problems on many other realms, including the previously covered Procyons, Alchibans, and Alphirkians. So this self-serving group of Alkians even infiltrated the Galactic Federation of Light and was the catalyst for the race to end their involvement entirely in that group. So at some point, 6,000 years ago, many negative souls were removed from Earth and not allowed to return. And some of these souls were rehabilitated, and some were simply taken away. And this process of soul rehabilitation will be detailed in a much later video. It's just simply too much to go into in this Alkien video. We have established that the Alchibans and the Alkians have a DNA connection, but they don't like each other much. There have been several battles between these two planets, which were started by the negative group. The Alkians are generally not a warmongering species. It's as if the good Alkians, who are most of the population by a large percentage, were held hostage for a time on their own planet by a negative few. And this big event on Earth that occurred about 6,000 years ago culminated in a treaty between the Alkians and the Alchibans. And both the realms are currently in a time of peace, although they are not in contact with each other. As one condition of this treaty, the Alkians, whether good or bad, were no longer allowed to incarnate on their beloved Earth. And the Alchibans, although an isolationist planet that does participate in some realm creation so that they can gather data and still have a limited role in the universal goings-ons. So in this contract, the Alchibans maintain their ability to incarnate and participate on Earth, but not the Alkians. And the fact that the positive Alkians are now reaching out shows their willingness to heal the traumas caused by a few from their world. And the Alkians are rooting for Earth's ascension, mostly from the sidelines. The Alkians, although no longer participating in the Galactic Federation of Light, do have many different UFOs. And while these spaceships do not enter Earth's atmosphere due to the conditions of the treaty, they do travel throughout the universe. And they have these large motherships, which are saucer-like in shape but look more organic and alive than a metallic craft. So underneath the body of a massive mothership are what look like gills that you would find under like a mushroom cap. It's like a dark, muddy brown color with silver metallic flecks in it. And there are lights that come on all around the edge of the ship. Inside, the spacious UFO has large, unobstructed windows in the front half. And there are many fixed desk areas where a being sits at and does whatever they're supposed to do on that ship. And there are perhaps 20 different desk areas that I could see. Once the ship gets into its preferred location, a long metal hallway kind of instantly juts out from the ship, and they all walk down this giant retractable hallway to the planet. In this video especially, it's important to highlight that free will does exist in this universe. And most of us on Earth have a very black or white, all or nothing type attitude about good and bad. And the very existence of darkness will always be present at some level in the universe. But the importance should be placed on keeping it in check and not allowing it to take over. So if the dark didn't exist, there wouldn't be light. So free will wouldn't be a thing unless we were free to choose which master to serve. And just because a soul may have had its origins on a benevolent planet doesn't mean that the soul's individual free will to turn to the dark is voided. So even souls that should know better because they've spent a lot of lifetimes amongst these high dimensional societies are not immune to the temptations or even the desire to experience the other side. So how can one truly understand evil if they've only served the light? Perhaps some souls use this time serving the dark as a learning experience for themselves to better understand the concept of free will or the nature of evil in general. Now, not that I condone in any way harm towards others or evil acts in general. It's just something to think about. I hope you enjoyed learning about the Alkians and their complex history. So what do you think about this alien race? Are you willing to overlook the actions of a few to see the overall good of the species? Let me know in the comments if you have seen or can see the energy in the air. Does it look like what I described, or does it look different to you? Any ET groups mentioned in this video that I have featured before will be linked below in the show notes. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more of this content, kindly like this video as it does help get the word out. Subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and enjoy my other videos highlighting other unknown galactic races in our universe. And should you want to have your Akashic record read by me, the link to the website is below. But in the meantime, I love you all, and welcome to a higher dimension.